It was an unusually warm spring afternoon when David, a man of 69 years, walked into my office. He was the kind of man who had lived his life quietly strong, a retired engineer with a mind built for logic and a heart that had quietly weathered more storms than he cared to admit. But that day, his voice trembled ever so slightly as he sat across from me, leaned forward, and asked the one question most men carry silently but rarely speak aloud. "Doc, is it true that what I'm not doing might be the very reason my health is starting to slip?" His eyes searched mine, full of worry but also something else, hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't too late. I leaned back, took a breath, and told him the truth few doctors ever say clearly enough. "David, there's a hidden connection between your prostate health and something you might have been avoiding for years. And it's far more important than you've been led to believe." He blinked, his face caught between surprise and disbelief. And that's when I saw it, the weight of decades of misinformation, silent shame, and the quiet resignation that so many men carry as they age. You see, David wasn't alone. Many men past 60 live with the nagging discomfort of prostate issues, those frustrating, frequent trips to the bathroom, the nights spent restless, the quiet panic of wondering if something more serious is happening deep inside. And yet, no one ever really tells them the whole story. That sometimes, the simplest, most natural act, one they've either given up or hidden away, could be the very key to protecting their prostate health. So let me say it here, plainly and without hesitation. Gentlemen, masturbation is not just about physical pleasure. After 60, it becomes something more. It becomes a form of therapy for your prostate, a way to keep it healthy, functioning, and free from the stagnation that leads to discomfort and, in many cases, more serious problems. David sat there, still unsure whether to believe what he was hearing. So I shared with him something most men never learn, that regular ejaculation plays a critical role in keeping the prostate gland active and healthy. You see, the prostate isn't just some distant organ tucked away for reproductive purposes. It's a living, working part of your body's health system. And like any system, when it stagnates, problems begin. Over time, without regular activity, the fluids within the prostate can thicken, and the gland itself can become congested. This stagnation doesn't just lead to discomfort, it increases the risk of inflammation and other more serious conditions. But when you engage in regular, mindful self-pleasure, you're not indulging a forgotten habit. You're actively clearing out those stagnant fluids, keeping the prostate healthy, the tissues oxygenated, and the risk of complications at bay. And the beauty of it? This isn't something that requires expensive medications, invasive procedures, or endless doctor visits. It's something you can do quietly, privately, and with profound benefits to your health and emotional well-being. David took all this in, his fingers nervously tapping the armrest of his chair. Then he asked the question every man wonders but is often too embarrassed to voice. Is it really that simple? Just that? I smiled gently and told him the truth. Yes, David. It really is that simple. But it's not about rushing through the motions or treating it like a chore. It's about reconnecting with yourself. Taking time. Being present. And understanding that this isn't about indulgence, it's about health. About life. That's the first hidden truth I want to share with you today. That by turning toward this part of yourself rather than away from it, you're not only supporting your prostate, you're reclaiming a part of your vitality that never had to be left behind. And so, over the coming weeks, David began to slowly change his relationship with his own body. He created quiet moments in his day, free from distraction, where he allowed himself to feel without guilt or shame. And gradually, his body responded. The discomfort eased. Those nightly trips to the bathroom became less frequent. And perhaps most importantly, he found a sense of calm and confidence returning to his life. In the next part of our conversation, we'll go deeper into why this connection between self-pleasure and prostate health is even more critical after 60. We'll explore how the emotional and physical benefits intertwine, how this simple act supports not only your body but your heart and mind as well. So stay with me. Because the most powerful, life-changing insights are still ahead. And believe me, they may just open a door to a healthier, more vibrant life than you thought possible. David returned to my office after a month, and this time, there was something different about him. His shoulders were less tense, his steps had a new steadiness, and as he sat down, a faint but genuine smile played at the corners of his mouth. Before I could even ask, he leaned in and whispered like he was sharing a secret, "Doc, I think I finally understand what you meant. It's not just about the act, it's about how it makes me feel afterward." That's exactly it. What most men don't realize is that the connection between self-pleasure and prostate health goes far beyond simple physical mechanics. It's deeply tied to the emotional weight we carry, the silent fears we harbor about aging, and the unspoken doubts about our place in this world as the years advance. The truth is, your body listens to how you treat it. When you push aside your own needs, bury them under shame or societal expectations, your body doesn't just forget, it holds onto that tension, that neglect. And nowhere does this show up more quietly yet profoundly than in your prostate health. You see, the prostate isn't just a gland buried deep in your body, it's an emotional barometer. Stress, unprocessed emotions, and long-held tension directly affect it. That's why men under chronic stress often experience more severe prostate symptoms. And as we age, if we don't create space to release that tension, not just physically but emotionally, it builds up in ways that can eventually lead to chronic discomfort, urinary issues, and even more serious health conditions. But when you reconnect with your own body through mindful, regular self-pleasure, you create a release valve, not just for the physical buildup of fluids but for the emotional pressure you've been quietly carrying for years. David experienced this firsthand. He told me about the first time he allowed himself to slow down, to actually be present during those moments instead of rushing through them like a task he was ashamed to complete. He paid attention to his breathing, allowed his mind to quiet, and treated his own touch not as something indulgent but as something healing. And in that space, something remarkable happened. He felt the knots of anxiety begin to unravel. The heaviness in his chest that he couldn't quite name started to lift. And afterward, instead of feeling guilt or emptiness, he felt calm, settled, whole. And as that emotional tension melted away, his body followed suit. The discomfort he'd quietly battled each day began to ease. His nightly bathroom trips reduced even further, and for the first time in years, he slept through the night undisturbed. That's the second hidden truth no one talks about. Self-pleasure after 60 is not a sign of loneliness or desperation. It's a powerful, healing act of self-care. One that not only supports your prostate but also releases emotional burdens you may have carried for far too long. And let's talk for a moment about what happens on the chemical level during this process. When you reach orgasm, your body releases a cascade of hormones designed to relax you, lower stress, and improve your overall well-being. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, floods your system, calming the nervous system and promoting feelings of safety and contentment. Endorphins lift your mood, and dopamine reinforces that sense of pleasure and satisfaction. These aren't just fleeting feelings. They're chemical messengers that directly influence how your body heals, how your heart functions, and yes, how your prostate stays healthy. This hormonal cascade isn't something reserved for youthful intimacy. It remains accessible to you throughout your life, no matter your age. And by embracing it, by inviting this natural healing into your daily or weekly routine, you're actively supporting your long-term health. David told me that over time, these moments became less about the act itself and more about what they represented, a quiet reclaiming of his life. A reminder that his story wasn't finished. That despite the years behind him, there was still room for joy, for connection, even if that connection started with himself. And as his confidence grew, so did his sense of vitality. He found himself engaging more fully in his daily life. His walks became longer. His conversations became more meaningful. His world, once quietly shrinking around him, began to open up again. You see, this isn't about filling a void. It's about recognizing that the fullness of life still exists within you, waiting to be rediscovered. And that's exactly where we'll go in the final part of this journey. Together, we'll explore how to make this a lasting, enriching practice, one that not only protects your prostate but revitalizes your spirit and helps you live each day with renewed strength and purpose. Stay with me. The best part is just ahead, and it may be the most important conversation you've had in years. And now, my friend, we arrive at the part of this journey that matters most, the part where knowledge turns into action, and understanding becomes transformation. You've listened, reflected, and perhaps even begun to feel something stir within you. A quiet realization that life isn't something slipping away, It's something still waiting, still within reach, asking you to embrace it fully, even now. David understood this by the time he came back to see me one final time. His entire presence had changed. His shoulders were back, his steps more certain. And his face, there was color there again, a vibrancy I hadn't seen before. He sat across from me and, without hesitation, said, "I don't feel like I'm fading anymore. I feel like I'm waking up again." That's what happens when you stop fighting against yourself and begin working with the natural rhythms of your body. And this isn't just a story about one man. This can be your story too. It starts by making a simple but powerful promise to yourself, a promise that you will no longer view these moments of connection as something shameful or unnecessary. That instead, you will treat them as a vital part of your self-care, just as important as eating well, moving your body, and nurturing your mind. In practical terms, this means setting aside time, not because you have to, but because you deserve to. Create a space where you feel safe, comfortable, and free from distractions. Approach these moments with presence, not out of habit but out of deep respect for the body that has carried you through so many years. Let it become a ritual, a gentle reminder that you are still here, still capable of feeling alive. And as you practice this more regularly, you'll start to notice something incredible happening, not just in your prostate health but in every corner of your life. The tension you've carried in your chest will start to loosen. Your nights will grow more restful. The anxiety that creeps in during the quiet hours will begin to fade. And most beautifully of all, you'll begin to feel at home in your own body again, perhaps for the first time in many years. And there's one more hidden truth I want you to hold close. This isn't only about surviving. It's about thriving. About waking up each morning and remembering that you still have chapters left to write in your life story. That your value isn't tied to how others see you or even how society defines aging, but in how fully you choose to live each day you're given. David discovered that truth, and because of it, he now moves through his days with lightness, with joy, and with a quiet confidence that no pill or external validation could ever provide. And so, I ask you now, what will you choose? Will you continue living as if this chapter is already written, or will you take the pen back into your hands and begin writing a new story, one filled with vitality, strength, and moments of deep, personal peace? If you're ready, I encourage you to take that first, small step today. Begin treating your own well-being as a priority, not an afterthought. Give yourself permission to feel, to heal, and to reconnect with the life that is still unfolding before you. And if this message has resonated with you, if it's reminded you that life still holds beauty and meaning waiting just beyond your hesitation, I have a small request. Like this video. It may seem like a simple act, but it helps bring this message to others who are quietly searching for the same hope, the same healing, and the same reminder that it's never too late to start living fully again. Share your story in the comments. Your journey, your moments of struggle and triumph, could be the light that guides another man back to himself. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll continue exploring these honest conversations, rediscovering what it means to live with purpose, health, and joy, no matter how many candles are on your birthday cake. Until we meet again, take care of your heart. Be gentle with your body. And remember, my friend, the most meaningful moments of your life aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting for you to reach out and claim them. And I hope, with everything in me, that you do.